Good evening. Let's see what I can do here. Peace, beautiful queens. Good evening, and welcome to our full moon tea ceremony. Welcome in, welcome in. We are relaxing. Okay, so get comfy. So excited to be here with you all. To celebrate the year and to charge forward into 2021. How are you all feeling this evening? Peace. I'm too far to hit the wave button, but I see you all. Good evening. I feel you all. So we are preparing for our full moon tea ceremony. And our goal here is I want to take you through a tea ceremony, and we're going to talk about how tea is used to set intentions, and we're going to set our intention. And then we're going to do a meditation to ground us in our intention. And we will finish off with some journaling, allowing our intuition to guide us into what we want to affirm for 2021. And we're going to write that down, affirm that. I also welcome you to write down things that you want to release. So I hope you have your journal. Also, you can have like a piece of paper off to the side, so that way the thing that you're releasing, we can burn that and use that as well. That can be part of your full moon ritual. So I've lit my candle. I have my journal. I have my crystals, which I'm going to put out into the full moon after for this evening. And if you haven't done so already, go ahead and grab your sage, and let's start by cleansing our space. This full moon is the final full moon of 2020, which means we have so much to be grateful for, because we made it, right? So we're here, we're able to just experience another full moon. I think that's pretty awesome. This full moon is in Cancer, and the sign of Cancer is a water sign, and water governs and represents like our emotions. So as we're using this full moon energy to help set our intentions for 2021, for stepping into this new month and into this new year, using that energy of emotions, because it's stirring right now. And so this evening we will think about that, like how have our emotions been impacted throughout this year. We've had quite an emotional year. We've had so many beautiful things that have happened, and we've had so many tragedies and traumatic experiences throughout this year. And I think that just speaking for myself and what I have felt and experienced throughout 2020 is that this year has really allowed us the opportunity to see our emotions more clearly, to see our vulnerable side more clearly, to see our essence more clearly, because that's what our emotions are, right? It's the raw essence of who we are, our expression, the way we perceive the world, and our past and present experiences. And so taking the time to explore our emotions is, it's everything. It ties into our spiritual health, our mental health, our physical health, and of course our energetic health. So as we're reflecting on what we want to release and what we want to call in and what we want to receive, I encourage you to dive into that emotional aspect. What do you want to release emotionally? Maybe you want to release more clarity around certain emotions. Maybe you want to release doubt and fear. Maybe you just want to release whatever blockages is stopping you from being able to see those things more clearly. So as I light the sage, I'm preparing my space and myself to explore more deeply. So using sage cleanses your space. We're also going to use it to cleanse our tools. So I'm cleansing my journal, my crystals, my teacup. Because all these things in this moment are all sacred tools to do some very important work for ourselves. And this is my cup of water. Tea ceremonies happen in many different ways, in many different places, and has been happening for many, many years. But this evening, I'll be sharing with you how I create sacred space, and just the simplest way so that you can bring that into your own space as well. All right. Maybe even these lesson cards if we're called to that. All right. So as we reflect on the full moon, especially as a woman, like our womb is the full moon embodied, right? So the tea that I chose by Felicity Shop is Self-Love Goddess. And Self-Love Goddess is a womb healing blend. Shout out to the Woman's Earth. This blend was created in collaboration with the Woman's Earth. I sat with Jay and we created this as a way of healing the womb, of nourishing the womb, of giving us those ingredients that really helps us to release toxins, to deeply nourish so that we can glow from the inside out. And so ingredients like lavender and rosehip and dandelion root and ginger, raspberry leaf, hibiscus, rubiose, all of these intentionally chosen. They have all such high vibrations, add nourishment specifically for the womb, but also for the entire feminine body. And lavender is really great when you're working with meditation, when you're really tapping in and really wanting to be able to be present. So having that for something like meditation and an intention setting tea ceremony is perfect. So I'm going to start by dropping my tea in my little basket here, my new favorite cup. And so the intention behind all of the ingredients is the first aspect of this tea ceremony. Whatever tea you choose, what's the intention behind those ingredients? How do you want it to nourish you? What do you want it to help you release, or what do you want it to help you bring in? And then we have our water, where we speak also what we're saying we want to call in, wanting to release doubt, release fear, release blockages, receive clarity. There was a doctor, Dr. Masaru Emoto. He's a Japanese scientist, and he did a study on water. And long story short, he examined the way that the DNA of water molecules changed when it was sent positive vibrations, positive words, when it was exposed to positive energy versus low vibrational energy. So for example, writing on your cup, words like love, words like peace, those words created beautiful crystal snowflake-like molecules, whereas words like hate created molecules that looked more like mush, right? And so that showed us that our words, they carry power, and it can absolutely transform. And being that we're made up of water, when we drink tea, when we drink our water, we're nourishing our body. And so even knowing what kind of vibrations are in and around our water is important. And that's another way that this tea ceremony comes together to create an intention that you pour into yourself, that you nourish yourself literally, and that helps to bring that out into that physical world as that nourishment helps you physically to move forward and thrive. So we're calling in all that love and peace, clarity, understanding of our emotions, understanding how to connect with it more, releasing shame around our feelings, our experiences. So we'll let that sit for a moment and take this time to just write down what your intention is. So the question I have for you to consider: what has been blocking your expansion? The full moon is all about expansion. What have you been wanting to expand into, and what has been holding you back from that? Maybe you're confused about how to move forward. Maybe you have some ill feelings about it, some fears, some doubts. Maybe you're just not sure how to. What has been blocking your expansion? Because whatever's been blocking your expansion, that's what we're going to release. What has been blocking your expansion to understanding your emotions deeper, right? Because we're talking about Cancer full moon and how that is more about our emotions. So if you want to take it a little bit deeper, what has been blocking your expansions emotion-wise? What has been blocking you from expanding deeper into your emotions, to really tapping into it, understanding it, speaking honestly about it, about your feelings, allowing yourself to honestly see your emotions and ask yourself questions like why? This is why therapy is beautiful. This is where I really was faced with this question. So shout out to therapy. And if you need assistance with that question, I encourage you to find a therapist and let them support you in working through that, because it's beautiful on the other side, and it's beautiful through the process too, because it's a journey. It's not like you go to therapy and everything gets better. You just become more equipped for the journey. So I release doubt, fear, Anger. Anger has been my exploration in 2020. Many years, but with therapy, my exploration of the emotion of anger has been a different experience. And it has allowed me to expand into this idea of what is your anger really represented. Sometimes we're always like assigned anger, or we go to anger because that is like the defense that we know. But when we really ask ourselves, like, what is that about? Then we get to more emotions. And that's how we gain clarity, right? It's like, oh, this is not just me being angry. Like, for real, I'm sad. I'm disappointed. I'm embarrassed. I'm scared. And so allowing yourself to release yourself into those emotions. Release those emotions so you can explore them and see them. Then I receive. What makes you feel empowered to be the fullest expression of yourself, to fully express your desires? What makes you feel empowered to be the fullest expression of yourself? What makes you feel empowered to dive into the fullest expression of your desires? Because that's what you want to receive. That's what you want to call in and attract more of. That's what you want to embody and be. Because whatever you want to be, you already are. That's why it's even a thought for you. So allowing yourself to receive that. What does that feel like? What does that smell like? What does that taste like? So feel free to share if you feel so called. But I wrote, I receive joy through creative expression. Now, I just made it long, but you could make it short, right? Like, I receive joy. I receive love. Like, that's going to be my short one for meditation. I release anger and I receive love. Because at the end of the day, whatever our desires are, it all has to do with, like, us coming back to what we love. And when we can't do what we love, when we can't feel love, we die. Then we feel other things, and then we express other things. So when we really break it down and we really allow ourselves to sit with the thought and the question, then we could dive deeper into what that looks like. So I receive love, but how I thought about that was like just joy through creative expression. Sometimes we are so judgmental of ourselves for the way that we express. And because of that, we're judgmental to other people for the way that they express. And though we may sometimes have to learn how to express appropriately, we can't do that if we shame ourselves or we shame other people. You know, we have to be able to see all things as lessons and blessings. Sometimes we see it as like the big situations, like, oh, I didn't get that job. Okay, that's a lesson, a missed blessing. Or a blessing if we receive it, but it's also in the small moments too. Like when we get frustrated about something, like that gives us the opportunity to see clearly, like, oh, I'm really upset about that because like that makes me not feel loved because of something else I experienced. But you could hold yourself to that honestly and not feel bad about it. You just move through it and recognize it and do better next time. And that's life. You know, the journey of doing that over and over and over again. And that's going to be our affirmation and our release for our meditation. I always love to do these I receive, I release meditations as a way of really embodying our intention, embodying that thing that we're calling in. to start to feel that energy in a space where you feel safe, so that as you move out into the world and life starts to happen, you have something to anchor your mind and your heart back to, that feeling, that energy, so you can keep moving forward. So our meditation today is going to be very simple. As you sit and as you breathe, allow yourself to connect to your breath. And with each in-breath, allow yourself to breathe in that thing that you're calling in. And as you release your breath, each time, allow that to be that physical expression of you releasing that block, releasing that anger, releasing that doubt, releasing that fear. Breathing in and receiving that love, receiving that joy, receiving that creative expression. So, you can sit or lay in a comfortable position. Close your eyes if it feels right. If not, maybe you want to gaze at your candle if you lit one. Gaze at a beautiful picture in your room. And start to turn your attention inward. Turn your attention to your breath. Notice the air as it flows in through your nose, flows down into your lungs. Feel how that air expands the lungs. See that expansion in your belly. See and feel that expansion come in through your ribs. And feel it carry its way up into your heart. Filling all the way up until it feels like your throat is even full. And when that breath releases, notice how your body relaxes. Feel how your heart relaxes, your ribs, and your belly. Continue to follow your breath. Allow your spine to become nice and tall, stretching the crown of your head up to the sky. Just giving your ribs more space to expand. Not being forceful. Just allowing your breath to carry you. Expand you like the full moon. As that breath releases, allow yourself to let that shit go. Just relax. Feel your body surrender. Feel how your hips connect to the earth. Feel how the earth supports you right here in this moment. As each breath releases, you surrender just a little bit more, releasing that fear, that doubt, just a little bit more. At the top of each in-breath, feel that fullness. Right before you release. When your release is complete, just feel that freeness. of fully letting go, of fully being supported, of feeling safe. Safe to release, safe to receive. Take a few more breaths to just feel the shift in your body as you've released that fear and that doubt manifesting in your body, holding space. Now replaced with the freeness of your desires. Feeling that thing you're wanting to receive, feeling more love, feeling more joy, feeling more creative, feeling more present, feeling more deserving, knowing that all of the things that you feel matter. Allowing yourself to feel what it means to create this space for yourself. To be fully supported right where you are, right in your own breath. And as you prepare to move from this space, know that this breath comes with you. And that every moment can be a moment to release and receive and reground and reconnect. And I encourage you to do that whenever possible. Make any space your sacred space. And now that we've used our breath to release toxins through our breath, release mental and physical toxins, this is the perfect time to grab our tea. As we've put all that positive energy into the air, that of what we're calling in, what we've released. Also, our hot water has cooled down. Now we re-nourish our body. And so take a sip of your tea. Continue to breathe and just think on your intentions. So while you were meditating, what are some thoughts that were coming up for you? Because oftentimes we think that the thoughts are things that we need to push away, but those thoughts often come as like affirmations and messages as well. And so journaling what comes up while you're meditating is always great. So whatever came up for you will be your affirmation for this meditation and this full moon. Take a moment to write it down. I'll share because I don't want you to feel pressured. My affirmation that came up during meditation was, I am safe to feel, and I am safe to be the fullest version of myself. I am safe to feel and be the fullest version of myself. And I'm going to carry that into 2021. Because one thing, why that resonates is because one thing I've learned this year is as I have allowed myself to feel more safe with feeling how I'm feeling, assigning less shame to my own feelings, I have been able to be myself. I've been able to advocate for myself and re-express and relearn and reteach others so they can relearn me as I relearn me. And that has allowed me to be the fullest version of myself and to be able to be more creative and more expressive in healthy and positive ways. So, yeah. So, we're going to sit with that for a moment. How are you feeling? I see you, I feel you. All right. Whew, okay. So that is our tea ceremony, y'all. I just wanted to create a intentional space. I didn't want to hold you for too long, but we've been through so much in 2021, and we absolutely deserve to celebrate what we've learned about ourselves and to feel safe about what we've learned about ourselves and continue to work to be the best and healthiest version of ourselves. And I'm excited. It's been beautiful through all the ups and downs, because it hasn't always been sunflowers and rainbows, but the smile and the happiness and the joy is because of being here and having made it through, and knowing that along the journey, not necessarily on the other side, but further along the journey, there is a sense of strength and compassion and understanding and hope, and those are all beautiful things. So let's just see, what's the soul message that we will leave? Beautiful. Thank you. My pleasure. I love those cards and got excited when you pulled them out. I love them too. That's why I couldn't even leave without pulling one. They're just like calling me. Oh, I'm so glad y'all had a good experience. All right. Dear God, because we're always convening with the Holy Spirit, okay? And our honorable ancestors too. But what's a message we can use to help us to continue to release and receive for 2021? Ooh, balance. Balance. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. Like, right? 2021, we're coming for everything that we want, and we're going to have balance, okay? Because it's meant to be. So, of course, it's all possible. But are we willing to do the work to make it happen. Ooh, all right. All right, y'all. That's that. 2021 is all about balance. It's all about harmony. It's all about calling in all that we want and doing so without judging ourselves, without judging the journey. All right. All right. All I feel is just like happy feelings. Like I feel really giggly and grateful. So, um, yeah. We've been doing some growing up in 2020, yo. I'm ready for 2021. But beyond that, I'm grateful for today because every day is not promised. So I hope y'all have a beautiful rest of your evening. I hope you cherish and celebrate each day through the rest of 2021. And yes, through the rest of 2020 into 2021 and beyond. And yeah, peace, love, and light, y'all.